Hi, I'm Bear from Bear and Ruse Cycling Adventures. Ruse behind the camera today. We just went out for a ride, commenting on how much we love our bicycles, and I thought I'd do a quick review on both our bikes. We're just average people, not experts at this by any means. I have to admit that when I was about 30 years ago, I worked in a bicycle shop for a very short amount of time, but certainly not experts. At any rate, this is the Vivente World Randonneur. This model is the Gibb. This is Rue's bicycle. We really took a lot of time deciding what bike to get for Rue, and this particular one sort of ticked all the boxes all the time, and she's really happy with it. So I'll just want to go over some of the features of the bicycle here. To start out with the frame. The frame is steel. It's a chromo. It's a 4130 tubulus, or tubing on this particular frame. It's absolutely beautiful to ride. This has a drop top tube for the shorter rider. Rue's not all that tall, so this is a size small, but has a drop tube. Now, if you wanted to go to the extra small size, you'd need to get 26-inch wheels, and we preferred to stay with the 700C so that we both had the same size wheels. For when we're on tour, we can carry inner tubes that are interchangeable and tires that are interchangeable. So the frame's steel on all the world Randonneurs by Vivente. The ride is absolutely beautiful. Very smooth, just like steel should be. The paint is lovely. I don't know if you can get up close and see the flags that are here and the writing. It's very well printed. It's an attractive bike to look at. Excellent. Okay, let's start up here on the handlebars. Now, on this particular model, on the Gibb, you get a choice of two different handlebars. You get your straight bars, like mountain bike style, and you can get the trekking bars. And Ruth decided to go with the trekking bars so that she'd have more positions to place her hands while she's riding. This particular model, the Gibb, comes with the roll-off hub, which is absolutely brilliant. At the time, if I'd had the cash, I would have bought one myself. But just sitting here, you can change the gears whilst the bike is in position, which you can't do on a derailleur bike. And it's very smooth, very easy for her to operate. It's not very complicated. You don't have two sets of levers to work with. It's very nice. I can't comment enough on how nice that roll-off speed hub is. It is a bit pricey. That's its only downside. Okay, going from there, we have Shimano brakes. This has disc brakes both front and rear. They are hydraulic brakes, and they're very responsive. I haven't ridden a hydraulic bike before riding mine, and just trying this one out, which is different than mine. This one stops on a dime. It works really, really well. This here is part of the Ortlieb handlebar bag, which doesn't come with the bike. This was separate, so we put that on. The brass bell, that did come with the bike. That's a nice little additive. That's one thing I found with the Vivente bikes, is that they had a lot of things included right out of the package, that once the bike was put together, you could basically go for a tour right then and there. Okay, so coming down here on the headset, you can see here it's a Technoglide headset, and then down through to the fork here we have this AXA light. This light's really nice and bright. It's got two lights on it and a switch on the back, and it's driven by the hub. So the hub here gives the power, so there's no batteries involved. If you're riding along, the light will work for you if you have it turned on. If you have it in the off position, comment below if I got that correct, but I think you have to have the light off. You can get power from the USB hub here, which will charge your devices. So if you've got a battery pack or your phone or something, when you're riding during the day, you can charge that up for nighttime. Alright, close that up. Hopefully the dog Kane, he doesn't need to add to this anymore. Alright, the bike came with fenders, both front and rear mudguards. They're nice, they don't rattle, hardly know they're there. Don't have much more to say on them other than they On mine, because I've got size 13 feet, occasionally I touch this on full turn, but that's not on this particular bicycle, so I'll talk about that when I get to mine. Moving down, the fork's real nice. It's got a nice rake to it, smooth. Again, the disc brakes in the front, I believe that's 140. Yeah, I believe that's 140 mil disc brake in the front, 160 in the back. Very nice DT Swiss hubs. This is the only issue I have on this bike, really, is the hub and the tire choice. And the reason being is that if you look right down here, there's maximum tire pressure. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. For the tire size. Now this is a 32, so the maximum tire for a 700 by 32 is 5.5 bar. That's for the rim. Because these rims are designed to work with disc hubs and not with caliper brakes or brakes that use the friction on the hub, they're a thinner rib, and what that means is they can't take as much pressure. So when you look at the tire rating for this particular tire is 4.5 to 6.5 bar. So 5.5 is right in the middle, and normally when I grab a tire like this, because I weigh a bit more, I put just about maximum pressure in, which I almost did on mine. I was lucky I read that on the hub. Luckily the sticker's right next to the valve, that I was able to see that. But it'd be very easy for those in English to put 95 psi in here when the rim should only have about 70 or 75 psi. So that's just one thing to be mindful of. I guess it's not really a complaint, but it's something you really got to be careful of, that you don't overinflate your tires, it's the okay pressure for the tire but not for the rim. Now on these rims, something I do like is they use Schrader inner tubes, which makes it very easy to, if you don't have your pump or your pump's not working, you can use a petrol station, or just about anywhere has a pump that'll pump that up. And you can always use an adapter, a Schrader adapter, to put the smaller press the valve in, if that's what you got. But I do like having the larger hole with the Schrader. That's, I guess, a personal opinion of mine. Alright, let's move back down through the bike here. Up here we have, it's called the Gibb. I guess it's a steering stabilizer. And what it does is, you can see when the wheel, or when you turn the handlebars, that's a piece of rubber that just sort of slows it down, makes it turn just a little bit easier, or I guess more difficult, so that when you're riding you can take your hands off the wheel and it's not so likely for your front wheel to turn real quickly on you. You can easily disconnect it. There's just a little bit of a hook right here. Okay, so let's move down. The bicycle comes with, this particular one comes with 2 water bottles, 2 cages with it. There's some standoffs down here for the other water bottle cage below. Because this is a small frame with the drop top tube, they couldn't fit another one in here. But they've got one here, and they've got one here. And let's just move back. We'll skip over to Gates Drive for a moment, and we'll get back to that. It has a seat that's obviously proprietary seat that came with the bike. Ruth likes this design. It's cut out in the middle. I guess I prefer the old Brooks leather seats, so that's what I've got on mine. But so far for Ruth, this has been a very nice seat. It's got some cushion to it. I prefer myself to have less cushion. The parrots are out trying to make a bit of noise here. Sorry about that. Bloody chickens. Anyway, the bike comes with a tubeless rear rack. These are steel. These aren't aluminum. Very solid. Low mount. So instead of hooking the panniers up here, you hook them down here. That gets your weight down just a little bit. That's really nice. I like that. It also gives you a bit more clearance up on top, so if you want to put a bag or something up here and your panniers are really stuffed, it just gives you that little bit of extra room. Alright, Moving to the back here, we have a tail light. This tail light again is driven off the front hub. It comes on when you start riding and stays on. There is either a battery or a capacitor in there, I'm not really sure, but it's called a parking light. So when you stop, the light stays on even when the hub isn't turning, which is really nice, and it stays on for a long time, good 5 minutes or so, with the light being on. So when you come up to a stoplight or you pull up somewhere, your rear light stays on. Your front light does too. And what's kind of nice is when you slow down, the light actually dims. So it's like it goes into a parking light mode. So it's not full brightness, and I guess that makes it last a little bit longer. Fender on the back again. Sorry, I'm not sure the brand of the fender, but it's quiet. It does the job. It's got a little mud guard at the bottom, and there's not much else to say about it other than it's not really. I'm not sure what this material is. It feels like plastic. It's extremely light. It's hard to tell it's even there at all. All right, rear wheel. On this particular one, we got the Gates hub, or Gates drive, and the roll-off hub. This is absolutely smooth as silk. We went for this. I've never had a bike like this before, that had a Gates drive, so this is very new to me. So as time goes on, we'll make videos and comment on that. But what's nice about it is you can see I'm playing with it here. My hands are clean. It's very, very clean. So for a city commuter or someone who's got clean pants on or something, you don't have to worry about brushing up against this because there's no grease, there's no oil. And we've been riding it a little bit, just a couple 100 kilometers on there. Not a great deal, but we have been riding on this bike a little bit anyways. I guess my only downside is I'm going to have to learn how to adjust things. There's a little bit of, I think, a tension cable back there, or a tensioner. Not quite sure how this works, so I've got to learn myself how it goes. The pedals are FSA Vero pedals, or sorry, cranks, and the pedals are VP R62s, and we just left what came from the shop to cover the clip. Ruth isn't comfortable yet with the clip system, so we're running just flats on either side, so she doesn't have to worry about which side she's got her shoe on. I guess that about wraps up the bike. We did a short video of her riding the other day, and the bike was it's very smooth. It rides, it's quiet. The roll-off gear, as noted in many other videos and whatnot, makes a little bit of noise in that 7th and 8th gear. That's because it's right between the transition inside the system, but I guess that goes away with time. We'll let you know. We've only got a few 100 kilometers on this bike, if that. So that's where we're at. But these are the Vivente World Randonneur. Very, very happy with the bike. It's absolutely a beautiful bike. I can't say enough about it. The owner of the company, Noel McFarlane, spent a great deal of time talking to me on the phone about the pluses and minuses of his bike for touring, and the customer service I heard about from others on the forums and at the bike shop that I purchased it at actually really steered me away. I was really sold on a surly long haul trucker, but customer service and my conversations with the owner of the company, Noel, really swayed me towards these bikes, and I'm quite happy that we went this way. So I know you wouldn't be dissatisfied if you purchased one of these.